The night before the wedding. My fiancé, the doctor confessed. I love you, but I still have feelings for someone else. You don't drop a bomb like that between brushing your teeth and going to bed. That was the first thing I said when Ian, my fiancé of 3 years, turned to me in our kitchen, eyes red, lips trembling, and whispered, Leo, I love you, but I think I still have feelings for someone else. The words shattered the silence like glass under booth eels. I didn't flinch. Not yet. I stared at him, toothbrush still in hand, paste slowly foaming in my mouth, the mint taste now acid and betrayal. He sat down at the kitchen counter, his hands trembling as if he'd just made a fatal incision in the wrong place. Fitting, considering he was a vet. I always joked he had more compassion for golden retrievers than most humans. Now, I wondered if that was a warning sign I missed. I spat into the sink, rinsed, and turned to him. Who? I asked. No yelling, no crying, just one word. He shook his head. I don't want to ruin us, Leo. That's not what this is. It's just, I've been feeling confused and guilty. And if I walk into tomorrow carrying this, I'll hate myself forever. I wanted to scream. I wanted to punch the cabinets. But more than anything, I wanted to understand. Because despite the blood draining from my face, the ice settling into my chest, I still loved him. Even now. Even when he was slowly unthreading the seams of our life together. It's Micah, isn't it? I said. Ian looked up, stunned. And then, like a man finally exhaling after being held underwater too long, he nodded. Micah, his ex from med school. The one who moved to Seattle last year and whose name still floated into our conversations every once in a while like a ghost tapping on the window. My legs felt hollow. I slid into the chair across from him. Did you cheat on me? No. God, Leo, no, he said instantly. I haven't seen him in person since before we got engaged. We text sometimes. It was nothing at first. Then, it wasn't. Do you want to be with him? No, he said quickly. I want to be with you. I chose you. I choose you every day. But I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a part of me that still wonders. What if? I swallowed the lump in my throat. You're supposed to be wondering that before proposing, Ian. I know. Not 12 hours before our wedding. I know. I stood up, walked away, paced the living room 3 times, then came back. So what now? You think being honest gives you a clean slate? That we just carry on like this conversation didn't happen? No. I think being honest means you get to choose too. I think you deserve that. I laughed bitterly. Generous. The night unraveled in pieces. We didn't sleep. We sat on opposite ends of the couch. At 3 a.m., he tried to hold my hand and I let him, mostly because my heart was too exhausted to fight. By dawn, I still didn't know what I wanted. All I knew was that the man I loved had told me he was human and flawed and scared. And somehow that hurt worse than if he had simply lied. Our friends were already arriving in town. Our parents were already ironing suits and steaming dresses. And I had a choice to make. The next day, I was the one standing outside the church first. I hadn't told anyone. I hadn't called it off. But I hadn't confirmed it either. Ian arrived 20 minutes late, tie still in his hand, hair a mess, eyes like a man walking the plank. I met him by the side door. Do you want to get married today? I asked. He nodded. Only if you still want to. I looked at him for a long time. At the man who held me through panic attacks. Who taught me how to make risotto. Who once sat in the rain for 4 hours when I got locked out of my apartment just so I wouldn't be alone. The same man who now had a bruise on his soul shaped like an old flame. I do, I said softly. But we're not doing this pretending. We're not sweeping this under the rug. After the honeymoon, we go to therapy. Together. His eyes welled up. Okay. And you stop talking to Micah. Done. I stared at him. You promise me. If you're not ready to close that door, we don't walk through this one. He took my hand. I am. I promise. And still, something in me twisted. Not quite doubt. Not quite fear. Maybe just the knowledge that love was never going to be easy. That it meant choosing someone even when it's messy. Especially then. So we got married. and our first dance felt like holding a hand extended from the edge of a cliff. Promise, prayer, a risk. A year passed. Therapy was brutal and beautiful. There were nights we slept back to back, silent and aching. There were mornings he kissed my forehead like I was the only man on earth. I met Micah once, on Ian's insistence, to prove there was nothing left. Micah shook my hand and smiled. He was warm and smart and kind, and I hated how easy it was to understand why Ian had loved him. But as I watched them talk, I saw it clearly. There was no longing in Ian's eyes, just respect and closure. On the drive home, Ian held my hand the whole way. "Thank you for staying," he said quietly. "Thank you for giving me a reason to," I replied. Now, 2 years later, we have a dog named Machi, a small house with a lemon tree out front, and 1,000 mornings that start with coffee and kisses and the memory of a night that almost broke us. Didn't, because love, real love, is what survives honesty, what grows in its wake, what stays even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. And if I had to do it all over again, I would still choose him, even the night before the wedding, even after those words. Because now I know loving someone doesn't mean never doubting. It means choosing them anyway. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.